What's up, good people? Today, this is Zealous Vibes, and this is our podcast. And, we talk about everything real. We keep it real. We talk about culture and everything going on in the culture. Today, we're talking about sex and soul ties, which is a real thing. But is it real? That's the question. I'm the real Cherie on IG with a C.
Yo, what's going on? I'm in the building, JZZ, back again.
It's 14K Dre. I'm a child of the sun, so I shine like one.
Yeah,
Okay, then.
I'm Taz, no other KT, If you know me, you spin around like it ain't no other.
Okay, then. Fancy with it. So what y'all think about sex and soul ties? Like, that's a real thing, or is it a real thing? People have questions. People want to know. People out here having sex, and you don't really know the remnants of what's coming behind that. Are you leaving something behind every time you have sex with somebody or interact with a person? Is there an exchange of energy? Is this a real thing? Mm-hmm. Like, we need to let the people know. What y'all think about that?
Man, do we even know what soul ties mean? Like, let's just be honest.
Is it a formal definition?
Yes,
like
there's literally a formal definition, because we walk out here like, oh, we soul tied. But do y'all know exactly what soul ties is? So I'm going to break it down to you. It's the intense, deep emotional, spiritual, or mental bonds between two people. And I guess it could be two or more people, but it has to be bonded with two people. Whether it's described as karmic or described as divinely orchestrated, it all depends, honestly.
Right.
But honestly, like, what you take your takes on it?
I think,
how you feeling?
What stood out to me was that you said it's between two people. Mm-hmm. It didn't just narrow it down and say two people in a relationship, or it didn't leave out that it could be your friend, it could be your mom, it could be a stranger, it could be anybody you let in your house. It didn't specify. So it kind of left it open and just said two people. So that's interesting to me, in a way of thought, that you couldn't create a soul tie, or can you create a soul tie and not be in a relationship or not having had sex with a person,
yes.
right? You just interact and exchange
you don't have
energy.
to.
That's my thought process.
Right. And you know what's crazy that you said about the definition is because, honestly, it never even spoke about sexual.
Right.
It did never speak anything about having any sexual activity, whether you soul tie just by having sex with somebody. It's a literally, emotions, mental,
that
kind of ordeal.
But when we think about soul ties, everybody's mind automatically goes to sex.
Right.
Right.
Like, this bitch done trapped me.
Right. But I think about, long-term relationship, short-term relationship. Does that play in it too?
Yeah.
You be around somebody for a little bit and y'all got the chemistry. Would that consider a soul tie because of chemistry y'all have?
Yeah. I think really any form of emotion you form between somebody, whether it's love or hate. So you can have a soul tie with your family. The bond between mother and son, father and daughter, or whatever. Love, hate, whatever.
Friendship.
Like, anytime you tie together, on an energetic level, that's a soul tie to me.
So are you saying that soul tie is not automatically a negative thing?
No. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
Because you can have a positive soul tie.
Right.
Yeah, so if
Because
you're in
we
a
all
healthy
think
relationship,
negative about soul ties, but we don't think about the positive. What is the positive side of soul ties? Because I'm lost.
I think it depends on the relationship, right?
Okay, you're right.
The relationship you have with that person dictates what kind of soul tie exists between you and that person. So I feel like, because we're saying it can be created between anybody, it can be negative or positive. That's my takeaway.
Think about it. As human nature, like, a lot of people feed off energy, and you can pretty much read the room. If they got a positive or a negative vibe, you're gonna pick that up real quick. Like, okay, well, I need to stay away from her. And how is that going to affect your soul, and will it rub off on you if you be around it too long?
Yeah, the more you interact, you're going to create a deeper and deeper bond. So, like, if you casually pass somebody, probably won't be a strong tie, but you made some kind of connection with that person. So it could be a temporary soul tie or just a temporary tie. But, like, if you have a long-term relationship, it's going to be a strong bond. And that's part of the reason why it's hard for people to let go in relationships, like, once relationships end. Because there's still some kind of energetic tie right there. Keeping y'all together.
And it reminds me, because remember the last time you told us that you finally got rid of being friendships with the old girl, and would you say that that'll kind of be your soul tie?
For sure.
Yeah.
Because, and that's a great example. This was a friendship between two women, And in my mind and heart, a long time ago, this relationship should have ended for various reasons, but I didn't.
You want to let go.
And hindsight is 2020. But I really think that it had a lot to do with creating a soul tie with that person. And soul ties, the reason they're so, they can be dangerous and detrimental because they're hard to break. Right. They're hard to, when even the word itself, soul tie, your soul is tied to a person, something. Right? Yeah, that's a hard thing to break.
Like a fish on a hook. Yeah. Hey, I got you.
Yeah, for real. Like, and so, it can linger. And what happens when you don't recognize it as a soul tie? You're just going through the motions. You know what I mean? You could be exposing yourself to all type of turmoil or bringing extra stress in your life, but you don't view it that way because you don't view it as a soul tie. And so in my case, that's exactly what it was. But hindsight is 2020, like I said. Looking back, I know that's what it was because I let it go on for so long.
Yeah.
Right. And I had plenty of reasons to let it go, but I didn't.
So, that kind of brings us to that emotional attachment, right?
Yeah.
So how can we make things better? For instance, how can we take accountability for our actions, or do we have to take accountability for the other person's actions in that intertwined as spiritual or soul purposes? Like
everybody be accountable to themselves.
Yeah, that's my take.
Everybody be accountable to themselves because like once you recognize the dynamic you in with a person, you could choose to continue it or cut it off. You
can't really be mad at them for staying in your life because nobody is forcing
it, right?
You allowing them
unless you a stalker or some psychopathical.
But if you haven't cut that string, you ain't cut them off, then you keeping them around as much as they keeping themselves around. Right. Yeah, because the responsibility lies within you. What kind of life do you want to live? Yeah. What kind of friends do you want to have? What kind of relationship do you want to be in? Right? And these negative soul ties that exist in your life, it's on you to cut them off. That's your responsibility to yourself. Yeah. So do I hear y'all saying that you guys believe that soul ties are real?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
And it was a good point. That actually rolled into the next point when you said we don't recognize soul ties. So they not just sexual, they emotional, psychological, and spiritual, in my opinion. It depends on how deep you go into it and how you're looking at it.
Right.
Because, of course, it's a spiritual thing because you exchanging energy.
Right.
So that's the spiritual side of it. And it can create psychological imbalances. And some people can actually heal. When you meet your soulmate or whatever, you can actually start elevating in life.
Right.
But if you have a negative soul tie, that could affect you psychologically. It can break you down to where you start stalking people because, you can't let go.
Yeah, do some crazy toxic stuff. Yeah. So it affects,
and that ties from the emotion. So you get into your emotions so strong that it can create a psychological, rift in your in the mind.
And you want to know what's crazy? Because a lot of us, we don't look at the signs because now everybody calling red flags. But honestly, people will give you the signs or they will verbally tell you, hey, I don't want you or I don't want to. And then in our head, we're so tied in their soul that we feel like it's, they're not really saying what they really mean. You could say, I don't want to be with you. You could say, I don't want to have this encounter with you or I don't want this. But in your head, our heads, we feel like, you lying, you bullshitting. I just feel like I do all these things and then you show me that you really want to be with me. In reality, you lying. So now that comes with that psychological thing. Now I'm crazy over you. Now I'm doing crazy things because I don't know if you're setting me up.
Right. Is that that's a woman perspective or as far as a man? Because you know how sometimes when you say you don't want that person, but y'all supposed to cut it off, but then that point of distance, and then you like, hold on, you don't got nobody else or don't want to deal with, but the one who you've been dealing with, because y'all some type of connection or the soul ties, it always bring you back to dealing with that person.
Yeah. To me, it could be
no.
both.
It could be both.
Yeah.
It could go on both sides. You can have tender dick men out here who
Okay.
go crazy.
Say that part.
Who
Yeah.
go crazy
That's
over
true.
women, you know, and they ain't even had intercourse or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
They just automatically stalking it. So
Yeah.
it can
Yeah.
go both ways.
Yeah.
I don't really think it's just like my perspective on it because
It's
like
the type
I've,
of person.
I've
Okay,
had
type.
encounters where I only had a sexual encounter with somebody twice and only spoke and had conversations maybe once in a while or whatever, but they consistently would text me every day, know that I'm with someone, just to mess with me again, and it don't even be on a sexual level; it be on a whole different aspect.
trying
So
to
Whole
get that get
nother
back.
crazy
Yeah.
level of just the connection and what they want out of you, because you might
Right.
not, you don't feel the same. So you
Right.
know, men always, as far as men in perspective, we chase after what we can't get sometimes, and it bothers us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as that one, I know, I just want to be with her or whatever. It's just whatever that may be. It's kind of a battle, and then vice versa with the woman also as well.
So, what do you think a soul tie is?
To me, like we spoke before, I feel like in a spiritual mind, because souls connect with spirits. You get what I'm saying? Our bodies isn't anything without soul, pretty much. Like without a soul, we don't operate. That's how God created us, honestly, if I go there. But honestly, I just feel like my soul will be something that I create myself in, or bring myself up, or just like a personality, you learn it. And when you go into somebody else's path, they can either have a bad type of soul or good soul, whatever. But in my mind, I feel like it's a spiritual thing. Soul is like a spiritual connectivity amongst somebody else, and so it just bonds and ties each other together, because honestly, our human physical thing isn't really a real thing without a soul.
Right.
So, do you think people struggling emotionally, Dre? Like, or when you're creating this soul tie, because how do you think that some people create soul ties and some people don't? Is it possible?
Yeah.
Or we all doing it and don't know it?
I think we all doing it. We don't know it. We call it different things. On the negative side, on soul tie, we say, oh, you ain't over your ex, or you just can't let that person go, or you sprung on that person, or that person is in my head. I can't stop thinking of them. To me, all of those are kind of energetic soul ties. We just call it by a different name. And on a positive note, like, you got people in your life, you probably just met them one time, and you just say, oh, I'd never forget that person. They really had an impact on my life.
Right.
To me, that's a soul tie. Anytime you exchange energy with somebody, good or bad, that's some kind of tie.
And not just sexual.
Not just sexual.
Yeah. I tend to lean towards that. And, energy, like, I think about us as human beings, we all are energy. We all have it. You can't see it.
Right.
But there is a transference of energy. I like to use like this example. Have you ever seen somebody walk into a room and they're able to shift the energy of a room?
Shift the whole damn.
They ain't
house.
said
You hear
nothing.
me?
They
Don't
ain't
like me.
did
Oh well.
You know what I mean?
Popped
they ain't
up.
said nothing, ain't did nothing, none of the above. But some kind of way, their presence shifted the whole atmosphere.
thing.
And it can be negative or positive.
Yeah.
Aura.
We see it.
Yeah,
all the time.
that,
aura.
they just carry this energy, aura, vibe, whatever you want to call it, but they have this energy. And so when you take that and you put it with another person, right? I've been in a working environment on my job, and just my supervisors changed. One supervisor I had when I first got the job, so cool, so down to earth. It was easy to do my job. He just made doing this job easy.
Like you love to come back.
I
And
love
forward
coming to work and working for him. It just was never a hassle, right? As luck would have it, my supervisor changed. I got the same job though, right? My position didn't change, the responsibilities didn't change, nothing. But now all of a sudden, I pull up to work, I'm sitting in the car looking at the building. Because I don't want to get out the car.
You don't wanna-
because this new supervisor just sucked the life out the building. Yeah, she just made it unbearable. And it speaks to that transference of energy, how people, you walk around this earth, human beings, and you don't even have to know people. It could be a stranger, but we all transfer energy. Energy is transferable. And I think that we don't think about it in that way enough. So, because if you did, you would watch or be more careful about who you encounter, who you allow in your personal spaces, you know, in your home, you know, all of these things, or even telling your business too, right? Yeah. I was telling a coworker that's on that same job, because she used to take things personal, like and for me, I was like, you have to separate your personal life from your work life. These are your coworkers.
Be the same.
For real. It makes all the difference, because you might meet some friends along the way, but everybody not gonna be your friend at work. You know, so you have to know that these are your coworkers, and at home, outside of this job, that's your personal life. They're not made to coexist. Exactly. Now, if you meet some good friends along the way, then cool, but that's gonna be like your mama used to say, you're gonna count your friends on one hand.
Right.
Can you really have sex without emotional connection? And to dive a little deeper into that, are men biologically wired to detach emotionally from sex? Easier than women. I say easier than women.
You asking that question?
Yeah. Are men wired biologically to detach easily from sex than women?
Speaking of men, I think it's easier for us to step in, meet a woman, you know, we might have sex, but also it's easier us to break that tie, you know what I mean? Because we can separate, okay, having fun to, you know, not get emotionally connected. You know what I mean? Because we are guarded as men. With that being said, yes, men can have sex without the soul tie being involved. Now, whether we know it or not, it also plays a part. Yeah, that woman also that her presence can be attached to our soul without us knowing it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the reason for that is, of course, due to nature, because we are wired to procreate. I think it comes before any kind of love relationship was even thought of in mankind. So I think it's just that urge to spread the seed and keep the human race going, you know. So we just learn to adapt it and attribute it, you know, love to it. But on the biological thing, it's just the need to keep the human race going. That's why I think we ultimately do that.
And believe it or not, us women have the same thing, right? Cherie, do you agree with me?
I do. Yeah. I'm over here like, I'm on the fence with male versus female. I think because, well, biologically, right? Women are more emotional, you know what I mean? And so we carry more emotions. But when you talk about just us being human beings, that's everybody. Yeah.
Right.
That's every man, every woman, right? You're talking about energy. That's every man, every woman. And so we're talking about transferring energy. That's every man, every woman. So I don't necessarily think, I know men like to say or think that they can have sex. Oh, I can just have sex and get up and leave. I don't think it's that simple. I think they don't think about it in the way of I left something behind. I left my energy behind. And I think everybody do that.
It's kind of like when most men be like, oh, I just came to get a nut off. Honestly, like I don't want all of this. I just came to get. And honestly, I just feel like sometimes women do. I seen a question recently that said, y'all women always talking about y'all didn't have sex for X amount of months, but then as soon as I start talking, it only took me 2 days, and I'm like, shit, she just want to get her nut off too. The fuck? Honestly, she just wanted to, at that time. She had that connection. Might not be emotional, but she just felt sexually entwined with having sex with somebody and feeling good. Yeah, doesn't mean that she'll go back to that man. Right. Emotionally and be like, oh, you know, I want to be with you. Right. No.
Right.
Okay. All right. So along those lines, does hookup culture negatively affect, you know, emotional connections?
For sure.
Elaborate for me. I'm sorry.
I mean, because
hookup culture is the fact that you could just like sneaky links, just one night stands basically.
Yeah.
Does that affect the person's ability to like pair bond later on or create good soul ties?
Oh, good ones. I mean, I think if you're doing anything, you become conditioned to that thing.
Right.
But are you shielding yourself from creating a soul tie? Absolutely not. It can be a one night stand. You can have that on your mind. I'm gonna have me a one night stand tonight, and you're still creating a soul tie, even though that was your goal. Right. You still left a little bit of you behind with that person because why? Y'all exchange not only bodily fluids but energy. So you still left something behind.
And I think it's, as far as me, I think it is a hindrance because you have so many spiritual women that's on you, and you have the idea of, okay, just hooking up. Now you can't, if you're on a real relationship or you trying to find a wife, now you can't understand the difference between what you hooking up with. Is just a hookup or is a difference? You really have to search for that particular person for you, to weave through all of the, the flings that you done had in the social ties that you had spiritually. Now it makes it just that harder to find that one because now you deflecting. Oh, she was like this, and then now you in the negative. You have a negative impact knowing that you done been through all these women, and with the soul ties, and now you don't understand. Okay, well, I just got to be like I am, or just have that negative impact trying to find that one. Yeah, that's what
You found a good friend. Like me as a female and another female, we had fun at like a club where we met each other at a function. We came so close, but only at that time. And one person might have connected emotionally because, I thought I found me a good friend to hang out with. But then on the other hand, like people like me, I ghost people. So it's like, baby, we was only cool in that function, Right. I don't know you that much for me to really have that emotional connection with you because I don't know you. I don't know what your plot twist is. You might be different from this function to when I actually get to know you, honestly. So I think that's a thing as well that we don't really speak much about.
Yeah.
So you saying meeting somebody, interacting with them, and y'all met and had a good time in that environment,
right?
But outside of that, it's not the same.
Yeah.
That's just like they say you can't travel with everybody,
right?
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Travel with the wrong group, and it's gonna ruin your whole trip. But you can take that same trip with another group of friends and have the best time of your life. Different energies, right? Same thing, different energies. Like, I get it. Are y'all in agreement that all soul ties are not negative?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think you can break them, though?
Yeah.
Go to church with that.
It's stuff out there, like, for real. Like, people, I see it online, and I'm not going to even lie. Me, myself, I'm single now, but at a certain point of being single, I wanted to break every soul tie that I created. And I did a whole spiritual thing for myself. Yeah. And I fasted, I prayed for sure. I journaled, I wrote. And then physically there is it's called pearls, like yoni pearls. This is for the women. Yeah, I don't know what y'all men can do, but I'm just saying.
I know what they are.
Yeah, you pray over them. It's a whole little ceremony between you and your womb. And you pray over it, you fast, and you do these things, and you insert this pearl inside of you. And then once you pull it out, you're supposed to release all the energy that had been there. And so I did that, and I'm not going to lie. Afterwards, I felt different. You know how we were talking about this earlier. You sit and you reminisce on old past relationships, past experiences, the good and the bad.
Right.
I wasn't doing it as much. Right. I wasn't doing it as much. And so I just feel like there is a way to break soul ties, and because I think they're spiritual, I think that's the way you got to go about it. That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah, you can do spiritual baths. You can do Reiki,
salt baths.
Yeah, salt baths, Reiki energy cleaning. You can use certain crystals to kind of purge that energy. You could do ceremonies to call back your energy.
Talk to the man, Dre.
Yeah, so
it sounds like witchcraft.
It's not. It's spiritual.
Yeah,
it really is.
It can sound like witchcraft, but then you can look at it on a mundane level when you go exercise. You go exercise to keep your mind off of it. You doing activities to release that energy, to get that energy out of it. So we think of it as witchcraft, but it's really just a practice to
have a waiting to exhale moment.
But I can't. Look, he got his own. He said, I got my own spiritual way, but y'all shit. I don't know.
I just related back to the movie how she was, she just got
a Buddhist. Yeah.
She was a Buddhist?
She was
Okay.
But see, in the Christian faith, that's the same thing as meditating and praying.
It is.
We just call it a certain. We just call it different
depends on
thing.
what you call
We just call it different things. It's the same thing, same process.
I'm learning. You know.
Yeah. I think you most definitely can break a soul tie because I remember like I broke away. It was, I don't know, maybe a year. I don't think nobody really had no connection with me at that point. I separated myself from everybody, did my own little thing. And when I came back, I mean, I felt like I had really better connections, like positive connections, because sometimes we don't understand that we might be the ones who have negative soul ties against other people, but we don't ever self-reflect. And so maybe if I put myself out of a certain situation, maybe things will be better later on. So let me turn myself into a better person or self-reflect away from social media. So remember, I told y'all I haven't been on social media for a while. Social media, not dealing with people, not having sexual intercourse, not smoking, not drinking, just sitting there really getting myself back into a good spirit so that my soul could be maybe cleansed for somebody else. Because like you said, you enter into these relationships, we enter into these sneaky links or friends with benefits and stuff, and then we bring out that bad energy towards them, or they come back with bad energy, and now it's sucked into us, and then the life is just sucked out of us, you know? So I do that maybe sometimes.
So basically doing whatever you got to do for you to make yourself feel better. But because, but you got to take a break from whatever
everything else
it is that's draining you. Whatever it is that's draining you and sucking the life out of you.
Oh yeah, you gotta do what Jesus did. Go into the wilderness for 40 days, 40 nights.
No, for real.
And deal with that devil. You know, he was in isolation. He was dealing with the devil. So you gotta get all that stuff up out of you. You know, go into hermit mode and be by yourself and recharge. Reset your energy.
Isolation.
Isolation.
Isolation. When you go into isolation, you're gonna find a whole new you.
Right.
Like for real.
Most definitely.
When you come out, you're gonna be a different person. And the thing about it, I say this all the time, it's not, you ain't even gotta announce nothing. People gonna look at you different. People gonna be asking you, what you been doing? What kind of skin? What's on your skin? You glowing. They ain't gonna know why, but you know why.
Right.
Yeah.
It's your aura.
Can you really be friends with benefits with somebody?
You gonna create something there. Because I look at it like, this is the way I think about sex. Sex, the acronym for sex to me is a spiritual energy exchange.
Wow.
So when you do that, you really marrying that person, whether you think about it like that or not. When two souls come together, like the Bible say, you become one.
Two flesh.
Yeah. Two flesh become one. So when you do that with somebody, that's a marriage. So how do you divorce that energy when you're done? You know, it's like we just said, but I think it's hard to separate, one night stands and sneaky links and all that from soul ties.
So you really think you can't disconnect from that?
Yeah, you can.
Right.
I said it's kind of hard.
Or it's hard.
Yeah, if you're not thinking about it like that.
Yeah, if you're delusional, if you're delusional and think that you can just do these things, you can just hook up, you can have one night stands. Oh, ain't nothing happening. Nah, it's something happening. You're carrying away something, like what we said earlier. You're taking something with you, whether or not you want to admit it or not. That's on you, but you are.
Right.
Yeah. You are.
So y'all know this video floating around where the black dude was walking around was like, I got this good old lemonade with my home girl. And she say, girlfriend? And she say, girlfriend?
I ain't like
that. No?
I ain't seen that.
Oh, Lord, y'all got to go watch it because it's just so funny. It reminds me of this situation because, like you say, I don't know their backstory. I don't know if they've done something before. He put her in a certain category or whatever. But in her mind, she's a girlfriend. Yeah. And then in his mind, I'm just with my home girl, you know?
He ain't trying to claim her.
I seen another one like that. A girl said, she asking online social media for advice. She said her and her boyfriend went on vacation, right? They on vacation, they took a ton of pictures. They get back, she noticed on his social media, he posted, this was his birthday trip, by the way. He posted in the gym working out, and she said, damn, that's an old picture. He said, been in grind mode, been locked in, been in the gym working out. This is when they got back. And he was like, happy birthday to me. Right? So she's like, damn, that ain't what we did for your birthday. Right? Well, we just came from Jamaica. But you got people thinking you been in the gym working out. No, you got a whole girlfriend. So like that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I want a question for ladies. Like, when you have kids, that's a soul tie. Can that be breakable or that's negative, or because it follows you when you have that significant other? Yeah, y'all can friends with benefits type deal, and then you end up having a baby by that. Have that baby by that person. It can be a both positive and a negative impact.
Yeah, you cut your family off.
For sure. Not everybody deal with their family.
Nothing cut that bitch off.
That part. Yeah, not everybody deal with their people, kids, mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousins. Yeah, not everybody.
I don't know you. I walk by like I don't know you.
Not everybody deal. Man. You know, it happens. It's sad, but it's true.
I feel like, honestly, we've been really more with soul ties. Is sexual kind of have a high level of a spectrum than just being emotional or mental,
physical.
Or physical, right? Yeah. Like, I just feel like, in my opinion, it's been more of a sexual thing than it has been a mental thing or a psychological thing.
You're talking about the stigma that comes with soul ties. People look at it as sexual. Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
What you think?
Soul ties, to my understanding, is all the above, because once you take that step in understanding that person, or y'all hook up, then it becomes, okay, can I be with this person? Or, we having fun, but at the same time, fun can turn into long term, which lead into that soul tie. And then maybe she not on the other foot, maybe he not on the other foot, but when y'all try to break that connection, y'all gonna always have that in the back of your head, like, let's take the good with the bad, or do the good outweigh the bad, I should say.
Right.
And to keep dealing with that person, and you may not find that other person to have that same energy or to have fun, even though it was just a friends with benefits.
My takeaway is we need to be careful about the energy we exchange, period, between people. And especially sex, because that's like one of the most powerful ways to create soul ties, because you're dealing with the sacral chakra and the root chakra, which is the foundation of who you are. So if you let somebody tap into your roots, I mean, that's a hell of a tie to break, because that's the strongest point of who you are. So be careful about the energy you exchange with people. That's my takeaway.
Sex and soul ties, I think we all kind of, as a collective, are in agreement that it's not just sexual. It can be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Psychological, spiritual. And then if we're talking about sex in itself, sex is not just a physical thing. It is an exchange of bodily fluids and energy. And so that is one way you create soul ties. But the other takeaway is, I think people need to know that you can create soul ties in many different ways, and just human interactions, people people you don't know, family, friends, co-workers, it doesn't matter. But you want to protect your energy at all times. So this is Zealous Vibes, and we hope you got something today. Sex and soul ties.
Let us know what you feel about it.
Yeah. Look us up, like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of the things.
Yes. Follow.
We out.
Absolutely.